Welcome to Real Nova. Mykola, who is expecting his wife Nastya, and their family are considered the first eco-settlers in their part of the Donbas region of Ukraine. They reside in a very tranquil place. As a woodcarver and artist who enjoys drawing, Nastya even crafts a wood angel for Mykola to serve as a form of protection. Amulet. Mykola commutes by bicycle to the neighborhood school where he teaches algebra, physics, and ecology. The paw of the white raven peace symbol outside their house refers to an old folklore about a raven that felt sorrow for humanity and offered them food and fresh water while losing its feathers. The lack of technology at home prevents the couple from receiving news until Mykola leaves for work and watches a little television during his break. It is then that he learns about the demonstrators who were slain in the capital city of Ukraine and the possibility of a Russian invasion. Ivan, a student, bullies Mykola in class because he thinks the teacher is strange and weird. However, Mykola never allows Ivan get the better of him because he values nonviolence and striving to mold the minds of young people. Mykola passes by some troops one morning on his way to work, but he doesn't pay them any attention. He is astonished to see the school deserted when he finally gets there, and the television swiftly explains why: Russia has invaded Ukraine. Mykola hurries back to his house out of concern for his wife, recalling the soldiers he had earlier seen, but it is already too late. The Russians are already beating Nastya up there, and they capture Mykola when he attempts to defend her. The troops enter the house and light a fire after making sure they are not spies. However, when Nastya attempts to retaliate by hurling a stone at them, the soldiers do not think twice about shooting her before departing. Mykola, who is devastated, holds onto his wife's body as he watches his home burn to the ground. After confirming that Mykola is an innocent citizen by checking his identity, 2 Ukrainian militia soldiers come across him hours later and assist him in preparing a cemetery for Nastya. They transport him to their base next, but not before Mykola makes sure to take the wooden angel with him as a memento of his wife. The higher-ups at the base are unimpressed by the unexpected presence of a stranger because they suspect him to be a spy, but Mykola swiftly disproves their suspicions by declaring his intention to enlist in the army and expel the Russians from his native land. Mykola is then sent to a rigorous training program where he must learn to exhaust his body physically and handle firearms, 2 things that, as a pacifist, he has never done before. He finds it particularly challenging to disassemble and assemble weapons, which makes him the target of ridicule from his superiors, especially after he reveals his choice of the codename Raven. Mykola refuses to be defeated and works even harder to prepare, staying up late to practice his weapons while carrying the wood angel nearby to keep his focus on his goal of exacting revenge on his wife. A few weeks later, the trainees are informed that the army is in need of volunteers because there aren't enough snipers at the front. Mykola offers to help right away despite the lack of interest, only to be met with additional jeers. Mykola, who is still determined to succeed, accepts a challenge to demonstrate his abilities. He successfully disassembles and reassembles an AK-47 in under 20 seconds while wearing a blindfold. They begin referring to him as Raven, as he requested. Mykola finds the theoretical portion of sniper training to be simple because of his aptitude in math and physics, which allows him to perform calculations faster than the instructors. He also does a great job of adhering to the first rule, which is to remain completely still and silent, even when an instructor fires a gun at the ground close to him. Unfortunately, he performs poorly during the actual shooting because, for some reason, they gave him a different firearm than the others, one that is inappropriate for sniping in a battle. As soon as Mykola brings this up, he is told to take care of it. Once more, Mykola makes a plan to show his abilities and refuses to give up. The final sniper test is conducted at night, and the candidates must fire as soon as the instructor fires a flare to illuminate the area around their targets. Mykola doesn't shoot just yet. Instead, he uses the light to measure the distance. Once the exam is over, he shoots in total darkness and manages to hit the target exactly in the center, something no one else has ever done. As a result, Mykola receives the highest grade at graduation and is put in a first-class unit. For his first mission, Mykola and his fellow snipers must free an important checkpoint that has been captured by the Russians. The team successfully sneaks into the area without being detected and each sniper gets assigned a target, but when they are about to shoot, they must pause the plan because a civilian car approaches the checkpoint. The Russian soldiers make the 2 civilians come out and hand in their passports, refusing to give them back when they ask the couple to leave. The man makes a scene as he demands to be given his things back, causing the Russian soldiers to respond with violence. Mykola's team notices this and immediately attacks, killing every soldier with quick, efficient shots, including the guy that tries to hold the civilian woman hostage. Once the mission is over, the team hangs the Ukrainian flag to retake control of the checkpoint. When they return to base, Mykola hears his fellow newbies have left on a different mission, so he uses this moment of downtime to visit the school he used to work at, finding himself deeply moved by the desolate sight of the dusty classrooms. The next day, when the other team comes back, Mykola is hit by the hardest of news: one of his friends has died at the hands of an enemy sniper. This adds to the list of reasons why Mykola wants to get revenge. For the next mission, Mykola's team hides a bunch of explosives on trees behind leaves before they hide in the grass while waiting for their enemy to show up. When the Russian soldiers appear in the forest as reports had anticipated, Mykola hesitates to shoot because he sees something he cannot believe. Ivan has joined the Russian army and is coming this way with the rest of their enemies. He snaps out of it when the captain orders him to shoot, and Mykola hits the detonator, killing every Russian soldier including Ivan. When the captain asks him what was all about and hears Mykola's explanation, he responds Ivan had made his choice. Later during a break, Mykola and the captain bond over their memories of home. The captain carries with him a picture of his family and explains he has an agreement with his wife not to tell his daughters the nature of his job, so they think he is away on a business trip. In return, Mykola shows him the wood angel, explaining it symbolizes his own family. A few days later, the Ukrainian forces manage to secure the trenches by the border, so the sniper team gets in position to wait for the Russian forces that are getting ready to invade this region. Keeping the angel with him at all times, Mykola gets ready to do his job, but he loses his usual calmness when he notices that among the arriving Russian soldiers he can see the man that killed his wife. Desperate for revenge, Mykola keeps asking for permission to shoot, and the captain turns him down every time because the enemy is not in the right position yet. Eventually Mykola gets tired of waiting and shoots anyway, hitting the soldier but also giving away their location to a hidden enemy sniper that immediately retaliates and kills the captain. As the Russians open fire on them, Mykola has to drag the captain's body through the field while dodging every bullet and every bomb. Hours later, when Mykola finally makes it back to the base, his superior promises there will be an investigation to find out the sniper that killed the captain, and when they finally find him, they will call Mykola to take care of him. Meanwhile, Mykola is overwhelmed with guilt and decides to throw himself into solo missions to make up for his mistake. His sniper skills are still on point and he manages to take down many Russian soldiers, but without anyone keeping him on his toes. He also gets too risky and ends up with a wounded arm caused by an enemy bullet. Mykola goes to a secret hideout to take time to recover and watch the news to get an update on the political status of the negotiations with Russia, but his break is interrupted by an important call. It turns out the army has found the location of the sniper that killed the captain, so Mykola needs to come back. Before the mission begins, the soldiers are told all the information that has been gathered so far. The sniper's bullets are wide-ranging. He has already killed 5 Ukrainian snipers and 3 machine gunners, and his name is Sari. To make matters worse, he records all his kills and posts the videos to demoralize them. He even had the nerve to post the recording of their captain's death. At least all these casualties have allowed them to pinpoint Sari's location, and since they cannot fill the place with mines because of a chlorine storage in the chemical plant where the enemy is hiding, they have come up with an alternate plan. Their snipers will take out the lower soldiers to clear the way in order for Mykola to sneak inside and get Sari face to face. When the mission begins, all the Ukrainian snipers get in position and wait for Mykola to get inside the building by crawling through the field. The first soldier he finds is the other man that had attacked his home and still remembers Mykola, saying he should have killed him the first time. After killing him with one quick and satisfying shot, Mykola gives his teammates the okay to attack, prompting all the Ukrainian snipers to fire at the same time and managing a sweep of the area without raising any alerts. There are only 2 Russian snipers left, including Sari. They do not notice there is something wrong until they stop receiving messages over the comms and go to check on their fellow soldiers, finding them all dead. While Mykola uses the chance to get deeper into the building unnoticed, Sari calls for backup and sends the other soldier to keep watch before he returns to his spot, where he is surprised to see a little wood angel. At that moment Mykola comes out, jumping on Sari to kill him with a knife while the other Russian soldier falls victim to a grenade that is waiting for him. Then the backup that Sari called for arrives at the area, so Mykola uses Sari's radio to tell the new soldiers that they will pay for what they did. As soon as the Russian truck parks, the Ukrainian soldiers open fire on it, eliminating all the targets in seconds. Now that Mykola has avenged his wife, his friend, and his captain, he decides to take a break and go back home to visit Nastia's grave, making sure to fix the cross that had fallen. Sadly, as much as he misses his home, he cannot stay because there is much more work to do for his country. Soon he is on another solo mission, ready to bring down as many Russian soldiers as necessary. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.